Well, good evening. My name is Greg Ferris, President, Forney ISD Board of Trustees, and I hereby call this meeting to order. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yep. Yes. Loud and clear. Awesome.
It's now 6:02 p.m. and I certify that a quorum is present and this meeting is posted in the time and manner required by law.
You can hear me.
The monthly meetings are open to the public. Although the meetings are public, comments and questions from the audience will be confined to the time designated for citizens to address the board. Again, thank you for joining us this evening. This time we'll take item number 16 out of order, and the board will convene into closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code 551071, 551072, 551074, 551076, 551089, 551129. No voting will take place in the closed session. Any action the board wishes to take as a result will be from the discussions will take place back in the open session. It is now 6:03 p.m. and will be dismissed to closed session. Join me in giving a hand to Brianna DeRose. Brianna is a student and attends the Alpha Blackburn Elementary, where she's a fourth grader. So thank you for being here tonight to share your music with us. It is now 7 o'clock, and we'll call this open forum back to order. And we're moving on to item A, our welcome and invocation tonight, provided by David Ivy, pastor for First Presbyterian Church. Please join me and rise for the invocation.
I'd invite those who wish to join me in prayer. Let us pray. Holy One, source of life and giver of all good gifts, we thank you for who you are and for your providential care for us and for all the world and for your steadfast love that endures forever. We thank you for the gift of education and how our minds can be inspired, our spirits lifted, and lives changed. We thank you for the students who are here tonight who will be recognized for their talents and dedication. We thank you for their families, for their teachers and schools in this district. And we ask your guidance on decisions that are made here tonight. Give us your grace that we may be a quiet and humble and joyful people, celebrating our community and fostering healthy relationships in all that we do. And we pray in your holy name, amen.
You may be seated. At this time, we'll recognize our students of the month. We have Mr. Craig, Assistant Principal from Teamer Middle School, to introduce our middle school student of the month. And after that, we'll have Ms. Danielle Beggert, Principal of Lewis Elementary, to introduce the elementary student of the month.
Good evening. It is an honor and a privilege to introduce to you Efren Cruz Negron, an 8th grader at Teamer Middle School. Efren is president of Student Council. He is on the A honor roll. He embodies everything it means to be a Teamer Titan, and we're very, very proud of him. His mom is with us tonight, Diana Negron de Cruz. And his brother, Alex Cruz Negron, as well. Just a few things the teachers had to say about him, just real quick. Ms. Mejia said he is the best representation of what we hope all our students can be. Ms. Emmett said, he demonstrates a strong commitment to his academic pursuits. Coach Flores, Efren is a great student, but he's even a better person. And finally, Ms. Garner says he is considerate, hardworking, and a great leader. Thank you.
Good evening, Dr. Terry and esteemed members of our school board. It is my honor to recognize Jackson Dyer, a 2nd grader at Lewis Elementary, as our February Student of the Month. I am excited to share the wonderful things his teacher said about him. From the very beginning, Jackson has stood out as a model student. He consistently does what's right, even when no one is watching. He follows expectations both inside and outside the classroom and has never had any behavior concerns. His teachers describe him as very polite and respectful to both adults and peers. He is always willing to help whenever he can and is recognized as a great leader in the classroom. Jackson consistently meets expectations, listens attentively, and demonstrates kindness in all that he does. Teachers frequently highlight how dependable he is and how much they appreciate having such a helpful and thoughtful student in their class. It is no surprise that Jackson is admired by all who work with him. He is truly the type of student who sets the bar high for his peers and represents the best of what we strive for at Lewis Elementary. Congratulations, Jackson, on this well-deserved recognition as Student of the Month. We are proud of you and look forward to seeing you continue to shine.
Please rise for the pledges.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
This time we'll move on to item number 4, donations.
Thank you, President Ferris. This evening, the North Forney Quarterback Club could not be here with us for a photo, but they are wishing to donate funds to the North Forney football program. They would like to provide $6,000 for meals, travel suits, uniform tops, and outerwear for this past season for your consideration.
Thank you, Board. You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Ms. Dobbs? Do I have a second? Ms. Burkhalter? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And I hear none. Thank you very much. Next, we'll move on to some student recognitions. I think our presenter is Mr. Macca Jones. He'll be introducing some TEA and other announcements.
All right. Good evening, Dr. Terry, President Ferris and the school board. My name is Micah Jones. I'm the Director of Visual Arts for Forney ISD, and I am here to honor 2 Forney ISD students for their artistic talents. Senior Alexa Austin from Forney High School and North Forney High School sophomore Mary Oshuntope have both been selected to be part of the TAEA, which is the Texas Art and Education Association, Spring Month Gallery. Alexa's artwork entitled Not a Piece of Cake and Mary's piece entitled Aura Gaze were chosen from several hundred entries from across districts across the state of Texas. They have been invited to this year's Youth Art Month Exhibition Awards ceremony at the Bullock Museum in Austin, Texas on March 9th. They are both eligible to have their work selected to be exhibited for 1 year at the Governor's Mansion. Please join me in giving a huge congratulations to these amazing young artists and their teachers, Ms. Tara Torres and Natasha Rabin.
Congratulations, and what an honor that is to both of you. Moving on to the second item here, Mr. Mario Luna, Director of Fine Arts.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris, Dr. Terry, and board. We are here once again with another All-State student. So it is my honor to tell you about our first ever 6A All-State band student, Mr. Dylan Traylor. He's an 11th grader at Forney High School. He is the son of James and Heather Traylor. Him, with along of all of our students, started this process back in late summer. And just like you know how marching band is, it's busy times and all that. So, I mean, he basically put all this time into this. Students go through 2 rounds of the regional audition and the area audition. There is 4,143 students that compete at the area level. He is also a student in our education and training practicum. He's with Mr. Graves last school year and this school year because he plans to be a music major one day. He will be going to San Antonio next week for the conference. There's about 15 performing ensembles that take place, and over 70,000 students started this process, so he is less than 1%. So this is our first ever 6A TMA All-State musician from Forney High School.
Next is some staff recognitions. I'd like to ask Ms. Kim Morzak to come to the microphone to share about Texas Thespians Premier Community for Theater Education.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. Tonight we're excited to honor once again the Forney ISD Fine Arts Department. For the 3rd consecutive year, Forney ISD has earned the Texas Thespians Premier Communities for Theater Education Award. This program recognizes and honors school districts that provide theater programs with the resources to achieve above standard as rooted in the Educational Theater Association's Opportunity to Learn Standards, Texas Theater Knowledge and Skills for Fine Arts, and support of International Thespian Society troupe involvement. Research on theater education continues to demonstrate numerous educational benefits across student populations. student age levels, and learning environments. Theater education provides several social benefits, including teamwork skills, how to give and receive constructive criticism, problem solving, trust, cooperation, and collaboration. Additionally, theater education helps students develop a strong sense of self, build empathy and understanding amongst peers, and broaden their knowledge of the world around them while preparing them for future careers. As an affiliate of the International Thespian Society, Texas Thespians follows the national model for promoting excellence in theater education and student achievement. Please help me in welcoming Janae Glanton to receive this great honor.
Kristen's back up to share some community recognitions with us.
Yes, this evening we're going to start with a special Forney Family Award. The Forney Family Award is presented to people or groups of people who demonstrate Forney values through an individual act of service to the district campus staff or students. Our district has been blessed with incredible church partners, and we are excited to honor one tonight for their service to our Forney family. Sea Life has been a part of the Angel Tree program here in Forney ISD for many years, and they've grown to serve a huge majority of our families through the Sharing Christmas program. Their Sharing Christmas program is a night where families go and they shop for toys, receive assistance in food, they can meet with pastors, and have toys wrapped all to take home to their children. This year, Sea Life adopted over 300 students as part of their Sharing Christmas program and provided an incredible evening for those families. We are so grateful for how they serve our Forney family each year with such big hearts and lots of volunteers, hundreds of volunteers, and a lot of hard work. So this evening we have here with us tonight Barbara Wood, Brad Carroll, Tammy Johnson, and Sherry Akers to receive their Forney Family Award on behalf of Sea Life. So thank you so much. Would you like me to just keep rolling? I get to
Keep
keep
on.
the
You're
fun
already
award.
there.
The fun awards coming tonight. So, Forney ISD's Keith Bell Opportunity Central, the OC, designed with our partners at Huckabee Architects, was selected as a Caudle Award winner in the 2024-2025 Exhibit of School Architecture competition that was facilitated by the Texas Association of School Administrators and the Texas Association of School Boards. The Caudle Award showcases new and renovated Texas schools and celebrates excellence in planning and design in the learning environment. The winning projects received at least 4 stars from 6 areas of distinction, making them eligible for the award. We are excited tonight because we have been told that this is Huckabee's second time in the history of their company to receive this award. It is a very big deal when it comes to school architecture. And our incredible architect, Kate Dunphy, is here with us this evening. She is one of the youngest architects in history to ever receive this award. So we are excited. She didn't get to join us for the photo last week, so we wanted to wait and let her join us this evening for a nice photo opportunity.
There were plenty of people in the picture.
At this time, Ms. Robin Pierce, Chief of Innovation and Information, would like to introduce business partners for the district.
We are super excited. This is actually a brainchild of Shelby Prado, who will be coming up here in a minute, but the agency is a brand-new student-run business designed to connect local businesses and community members with the talented students from across all of our programs of study, led by our Synergy class. The agency will serve as a hub where businesses can submit requests for marketing, branding, or other creative and strategic support. Students will review these requests, collaborate across the campus, and develop professional proposals and presentations to provide valuable insights, design, and solutions for the community. This initiative not only supports local businesses, but also gives students real-world experience in problem-solving, entrepreneurship, and personal professional collaboration. So, yeah.
Take a 5-minute recess. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you so much. We'll return to the agenda here. Item number 7. Our next 5 items are reports only, require no action from the board. First, we'll have our monthly financial report. Mr. John Chase.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. Tonight's financial report includes activity for the first 6 months of our fiscal year, ended in December. Beginning with the general fund, revenue collections to date was $111.1 million, or 52% of the amount estimated. Now, the largest revenue item in December was tax collections, which totaled $39.6 million. December and January are pretty heavy tax collection months, so we would expect that at this time of year. General fund revenue, expenditures to date was $109.2 million, or 51% of the amount appropriated. And for comparative purposes, the district spent 52% of the appropriation at the same point in time last year. In the food service fund, we had revenue collections of $4.9 million, or 55% of the amount estimated, and our average daily lunch participation rate for the month was 51%. Year-to-date food service expenditures were $5.1 million, or 51% of the amount appropriated. And again, for comparative purposes, we had spent 48% of our appropriation last year. In our debt service fund, the revenue collections were $33.4 million, or 57% of the amount estimated. And for comparative purposes, last year we had only collected 17% of the revenue estimate. The variance was due to the fact that the district had collected tax collections for this month of $25.2 million. In prior years, the December 30th and 31st fell on Saturday and Sunday, so tax collections that would normally occur in December were not collected and posted until January that year. And year-to-date debt service expenditures were $31.7 million, and that's unchanged from the prior month, excuse me. And then finally, our cash investments on December 31st was $247.6 million, and it's distributed between the general fund, food service, debt service, and capital project funds. And in our capital project funds, we had $87.8 million on deposit at the December. So that concludes the financial report. If there's any questions, be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Chase. I don't hear any questions. Moving on then to item B, quarterly investment report.
So our investment report, again, is through December. It's the second quarter, ended December 31st. Our cash and investment deposits on hand at the end of the quarter was $249.1 million. And that was distributed between the, again, general fund, which had 38.8% of those on deposit. The construction fund was at 35.3% of those on deposit, and then our debt service had 25.9%. And we had average rate of return on our investments range from 4.4 to 4.9% for the quarter, and our interest earnings for the quarter was $2.7 million. If there's any questions about the investment report, I'd be happy to answer them.
I hear none. Moving on then to quarterly tax collection.
Just like the investment report, the tax collections through this quarterly report ends on December 31st, and just by way of introduction, our combined levy for our maintenance and operations and debt service was $32.5 million for the year, which is a 10.7% increase. Now our current collections was $69.4 million, or 52.4% of the levy. And for comparative purposes, last year, on that fourth bullet down, we had 37.7% of our levy collected last year. Now, again, the same as I pointed out in our financial report, last year, December 30th and 31st was on Saturday and Sunday, so there was a little bit less time, I guess, to collect and post from the tax assessor's office. And so I would expect by the time the end of January rolls around that just like in all previous years, our tax collections have been pretty well, on target, the same percentage collected. So right now we're a little ahead of schedule as compared to last year. But that pretty much sums up our tax collection report. We did collect $300,000 in taxes from prior years over the last 6 months. So in years past, we're at 0.6%. So we're a little behind schedule there, but it's really not talking about a lot of money. So it's pretty well on target for what we would expect this time of year. So that's our property tax collection report. If there's any questions, be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Chase. We appreciate these reports. Moving on to our Future Ready update, Ms. Robin Pierce, Chief of Innovation and Information.
Good evening. Well, it's that time of year again, and February is CTE month, so here I am. And where are we now? Well, this year, this is just really high level, so we've obviously hosted our college fair. This year, we had over 70 colleges, trade schools, and military branches at our, which is our largest we have had to date. Everyone wanted to come back because of the OC, so they got vouchers. Usually, you're supposed to, you feed the recruiters and they come back. So it's getting bigger because everyone likes the food choices and the location. So it's good for us. We have had 5 opportunity talks. So this year we initiated for all of our practicum and senior level students at the OC, we do opportunity talks. So we bring different professionals in to talk to our students. So this year so far we have had a talk on mental health and awareness. We have had a talk about financial planning and taxes and what that means. We have had a talk from a fashion designer who has a shop in New York. Really he came to talk about entrepreneurship and what that means to start. He started with no college degree, and now he has a fashion design company in New York. So he has come and talked to our students. We have had some college student panel come back where we had about 10 recent graduates that have graduated within the last 5 years, came back to talk about their experiences in college, and the students got to answer some Q&A, just what does college life like and what do I need to know? And so we have 3 more this year coming up, but that started this year and have been a huge success. 5 of our CTSOs are going to state this year. Last year we had 3 CTSOs go to state. This year we have 5. Super excited. We have been trying to build on all of our CTSOs so every program of study has somewhere to go to get that extra after-school involvement. We have done CTE program tours in addition to site visits where we have hosted over 45 school districts coming. We also have CTE programs that just come to talk about CTE and what we're doing. Coming up in March, we are having Duncanville ISD is bringing all of their CTE, and we're doing a PD for them during one of our spring break days. So really super excited about the attention we're getting and all the great things we're doing at the OC. We've done TSI testing like always. We've had FAFSA nights. We've had 3 dual credit and focus nights, one of which of each of those was virtual for parents that could not attend. And then we obviously are all of our partnerships with our OC partners and outside in the community, and then Engage workers. Currently we have 85 students employed through Engage, which is massive. So they're working esports, novice, our STEAM camps, any events. They've just started this past weekend reffing middle school games. as the officials, so super excited about getting our students that great experience. Higher ed partners, again, we keep growing. Every year I come back and tell you we've grown again. So now we have over 1,200 students. Last year was over 1,000. Now we're at over 1,200 that are taking at least one or more dual credit classes with us. And that continues to grow. We're in the middle of registration right now. Last year, that's my next slide. So currently this year, we have saved parents $179,000. That's with tuition and the instructional resources that was approved that we pay for those for our students. So that's a massive savings for our parents and our students when they go off to college, and that's thanks to you guys for that initiative. We are going to have 36 students graduate with their associates this year. Last year was 30, so each year we keep adding more. HVAC will have 11, which is our second cohort of HVAC level 1 certifications. Last year we had 4, so we're getting up there, and then 20 certifications for our health science patient care tech. We've only done one round of testing, so we'll have another round in April for another round, so hopefully we'll get more students in passing that dual credit, and they both get 18 hours of college credit plus that level 1 certification in patient care tech. Currently we offer 93 dual credit classes, and last year it was 78. So each year we keep gaining, and the reason we keep adding more classes is with the community aspect. If we offer a class for a year for our students, then Dallas College lets us offer that to our community the next year. It's kind of a model we started with them, so now we have 93 actual classes that our students or community can take. This year we also started offering face-to-face classes at the OC for adults, and some students are taking some of those night classes. We offer just the basics, English, history. We do offer the health science track at night at the OC, the patient care track for those wanting to do that in the community, and then we are still doing welding and HVAC as well at night for the community. We have 618 community members, are people enrolled in Forney ISD, and that's 234 community members, but 618 hours, if that makes sense. So that's how many hours they have taken. But we have 234 community members currently taking advantage of the in-district tuition through Dallas College. We offer 19 certifications, industry certifications, and last year we had 535 students earn an industry certification. Future Ready skills, a lot of this y'all know. I'll just kind of briefly talk about it. What are we doing K-8 for college and career ready? What does future readiness look like? We obviously offer career exploration and campus tours for 5th through 8th graders. Intermediate interest inventory is, we use Zello currently to do interest inventories for our students to learn what are their skills and what are their work-based skills and what could they be interested in, so that we can explore that with them through IRL and through their principal's class in 8th grade. Elementary, we do career days and a career closet that travels, that was done by our fashion design students. So a little bucket travels around and has costumes, so our kids get to learn about that at each elementary campus. Of course, we still have IRL and principals courses that we have had as that core class. One thing that we really started this year, last year we had morning meetings for Future Ready pre-K through 4, but this year we instituted our pre-K through 8 milestones, Future Ready milestones. So every quarter, a parent will get home their kind of like their MAP scores, but an overview of what those Future Ready skills are and how their students are doing and how they're progressing in those skills. For high school, last year we switched over to industry certification days. So we treat it similarly to STAR. Instead of having them do it in class, we pull kids and make a whole day of it for each program of study. A lot of them we bring over to the OC so we can help administer, because it has to be someone other than their teacher to administer those. So we bring them over to the OC and we do industry certification testing days. And those will start next month and go through the beginning of May for those. Community partner projects. That's what we were talking about earlier with the agency. We coined the name, but we started that. We soft piloted it this year. And we had 5 businesses come up, and so that was really pretty amazing. We have opportunity talks that we've initiated this year, college planning sessions. Dallas College has held 5 nightly events for students and community to come out, and they set up all day into the night. So they're at the OC, so anybody during the day, and then we'll have a session at night for them to learn about what we have for them to offer. And then we'll have our third annual career fair this year at the OC, which we're super excited about. Student enterprises, which are student-run businesses. So this year, we have served 225 Thanksgiving pies, which is double of what they made last year. We've hosted 4 pop-up dinners, 9 cater events, and served over 300 meals with the local this year. For our doggy daycare, we've serviced over 115 dogs, and so we have 70, or at some point, some more than that, depending on the season, of animals actually in our Animal Science Center that are FFA projects. Blooms has made 700 floral or balloon arrangements this year. They have done 30, or really more than 30 events, from parties, quinceañeras, weddings, Christmas parties, and Beauty Bar has provided services for over 150 customers and has held 6 events this year with 5 more this next semester coming up. Experiential learning. As you know, that has always been our push, and y'all's push for us to make sure that our students have experiences, and so that's what we're trying to do. I know in small group I told you, but 100% of our programs of study do end in an experience. We are trying to make those experiences more valuable for our students, and so this kind of goes through and what we're doing with each one of those. I won't go through and read them all, but one of the things that will stand out to me is the law enforcement. So last year, if you remember at graduation, we hired an outside company to come in and do all of our security and ticket taking, and it just didn't go that well, right? We had workers leaving because it was raining and not telling us, and so this year we decided we're going to hire our students, and it was 100% better. We will never hire an outside company again. Our students ran all the tickets at our Shane and Shane at the Christmas holiday concert. They did the tickets, they did the security, they did the elevators, they helped with VIP, they did all of it. They helped with setup. We did not hire an outside service, and our students were involved in that. So they did obviously the snow, the lighting, the video, they did everything. So we didn't have one outside. So that was just a great experience for our students, and even with our all-region choir, getting to sing with them, it was just an experience that you don't get to provide for students that often. So I was super excited about that. Engage opportunities. I just had to share this. So currently we have 601 students involved in esports right now, and that's 1st through 6th grade. That's awesome. And so I know we're really focusing on that engagement piece and getting our kids engaged and how big of a difference that makes. We have offered 41 classes this fall and spring. It says serving over 188 currently because we just opened registration on some of our spring classes, but up to this point we've served 188 community members or students that have been involved in some sort of that engaged classes that we offer. We have 465 in youth sports, but that actually has gone up to 515 as of today. This was last week, because volleyball starts next week, and we have 403 students signed up to play volleyball in our rec league. So we will have 45 teams. Wow. So we will be using the OC, Jackson, and Rhodes for this, which is phenomenal. So we had it last year. For the elementary, we opened it up to intermediate and even middle school, and so it is just, we're super excited, and that starts next week. So they will be very busy at the OC for the next month and a half with or volleyball happening every night. So super excited. We've had 56 party reservations to date, and a majority of those have been in OC Junior. We just opened, as you know, this semester for esports and assembly required, but OC Junior, a majority of those are them, but we have hosted 56 birthday parties for our community. So where are we going? I just talked about the agency, so that's coming next year, full force. We'll have 3rd year of our program courses, so we're still building those courses, which is our fashion, Cosmo, auto, emergency, which is our EMT, and exercise, wellness, and construction management. So next year will be our first class of really juniors. We did start in our cosmetology and auto. We did start before freshmen, so we do have our first cohort this year of students graduating with their cosmetology license, which is super excited, and our first cohort of automotive students that will graduate with their automotive certification. So really excited about that. Synergy and career prep. We will start this summer, which is new. Last year we started with Texas Workforce Commission for our teachers to do externships. So the Texas Workforce paid our teachers $1,000 for them to go spend a week at a location that was deal directly with what they were teaching. So we had 5 teachers do it this past summer, but this summer we've expanded that. We're going to do 5 teachers, but we're also going to do 10 students. So juniors going into their senior year will have the opportunity to go and do an externship at a place of a business in Texas. Work First kind of helps us work that out, which we're really super excited about that. That is new. We will be providing a couple new certifications this year. Basic Security Officer, and that's for our law enforcement. Law enforcement's a really hard one to find an industry certification because you have to be 21 to be a police officer. So we have found that one, and that does count for CCMR. Super excited. Educational aid. We started last year, but this year we are pushing, but students have to be 18, so we're working towards that. And then community health worker, we're adding this year as well. This spring, this is just some upcoming events. We have more salon days. We have career days coming up. We have career fair, opportunity talks, and then, of course, more rentals. We will have a fashion show with our fashion design class. Will host their own fashion show, and then event rentals coming up. So, high level, but are there any questions? Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Pierce.
Would it be possible to get a printout? It can be black and white of these slides. I would love to just have this info.
Yes, 100%.
Because it's a lot to remember.
It's a lot.
When people ask, I can say, oh, let me just tell you.
Tell you, absolutely.
She can email it to you.
I will.
Yeah, you can email it.
Yes.
or-
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you all so much.
Thank you. Moving on to item E, Notice of Intruder Detection Audit Findings. Mr. Jason Sanders, Chief of Forney ISD Police Department.
President Ferris, Dr. Terry, board members. The top priority of the Forney Independent School District in the state of Texas is keeping students and staff safe every day. Each month, we will update the board on any intruder audits completed by TEA at one or more of our campuses. The audit tests whether the campus is accessible to unauthorized individuals. The audit, conducted as part of Governor Abbott's school safety directives for all school systems following the tragedy in Uvalde, seeks to help districts identify how campuses can improve safety for students, such as ensuring external doors are locked. The audit provides us with the opportunity to create a safer learning environment for our students and staff. We are working closely with the district's School Safety and Security Committee to ensure that we are training all of our staff and securing our doors for the protection of everyone at our campuses. The support from our state in conducting the intruder audits is just one of the many actions that we are taking to ensure our schools are safe. We know that this work does not end, and we appreciate the board's support. We acknowledge that parents and community members are likely to be very interested in the details of the audit results. However, it is in the best interest of the students that we do not share the information to the broader public, as it could lead to compromising important campus security information. Specific details in the intruder audit were discussed with the executive session with the District Safety and Security Committee. The Forney Independent School District is committed to providing a safe and secure learning environment for all our students and staff. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Any further questions? I hear none. Thank you. Item number 8, public forum. We have no one signed up to address the board. Moving on to item 9, consent agenda. 9A, approved minutes from the January 13th regular meeting. 9B, approved minutes from January 23rd, Team of 8 training. 9C, approve the budget amendment. The board may take action on these separately or collectively. Do I have a motion from the board?
Ferris, I move that we approve the consent agenda items collectively.
I have a motion from Mr. Johnson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Dr. Amudia? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I hear none. Thank you very much. Moving on to item 10, consideration and possible approval of policy FNA local as a first reading. Mr. Rick Gear, Chief Human Service Officer.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. Dr. Terry, School Board. The administration is bringing recommendations tonight as a first reading for changes to FNA local, which addresses student expression. The area of focus for the recommended changes can be addressed in 2 parts: student speakers at non-graduation events and student speakers at graduation ceremonies. Under non-graduation events, the current policy designated specific introductory speakers. By removing these specific positions, it allows any eligible student in a position of honor the chance to speak rather than restricting it to predetermined individuals. This encourages broader participation and engagement among students. Also, under this section, the policy restricts students in certain grade levels from being given the honor. By removing the grade level restriction, this recognizes students from lower grades who have earned places of honor and could now have the opportunity to speak. Next, under the section that addresses speakers at graduation ceremonies, eligibility for speaking roles at graduations is now tied to a senior leadership position, as will be defined in administrative regulations. The rationale is that it gives the district flexibility to establish criteria in administrative regs for selection based on earned leadership positions. This aligns with our current practice. Also, each eligible speaker will be allowed to speak only once during the ceremony. This ensures that more students get the opportunity to speak, and it prevents overrepresentation by any single individual, maintaining a more diverse and inclusive program for the ceremony. Last, another modification is being suggested to remove is the random drawing process at the graduation ceremony. This is not in alignment with our current practice. We haven't done that for years, so it's probably time to remove that out of policy. The list of speakers will now be designated based on the honors held by each student. This creates a clearer and more predictable method of selection that is tied directly to our student achievements, which it should be. I'll be glad to pause and answer any questions you may have during this first reading.
Thank you, Mr. Gear. Any questions from the board? I hear none. Ms. Spence, would you please put this on the consent agenda for the March meeting? Item number 11, consideration and possible approval of additional full-time equivalents. Mr. Chase?
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. As the board's aware, this is normally the time of year that we come and ask for the permission to add additional personnel units to our upcoming school year to support growth, and so we can start the hiring process and start looking for people to fill the positions that we're going to have open. And so tonight, it was included in your board packet was our request to add 211 positions for next year. We also had some benchmarking information in there about appropriate staffing levels and ratios as we compare ourselves to the state and the state ratios. But just we work with Zonda, and they're projecting that we're going to have 1,661 students more than what we had this past October in a student attendance next year. So we've been staffing on about a between 7 and 8 to 1, and if you do the math on that, that's how we got to the 211, which is, to be specific or exact on that, that'd be a 7.9 to 1 ratio for this upcoming year on those positions. And so the cost of 211 positions, well, the cost of the general fund, because 4 of them will be funded in the food service program, but the cost of 7 positions in the general fund would be $14.5 million. Just on the preliminary estimates, when we've been doing some revenue projections, we're estimating a gain of about 13.2 and the million, and we have about $2.5 million or so that we appropriated for retention stipends last year that could also be used to offset those costs. And so our recommendation again tonight then is for you guys to approve us to add the 211 positions to next year's budget, and we'll continue with our budget process and bring that to you in a workshop with all the cost estimates for all the other things that we need to fund, probably sometime in March. But that's our recommendation, that you approve the 211 positions as requested.
Thank you, Mr. Chase. Dr. Terry, do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, you guys can drive around town, see we're still growing. We need to make sure that our students have the appropriate personnel to educate them, and we'll continue to keep an eye on the legislation that's being passed down in Austin in hopes that they will send a little extra money our way. But we do think that this is appropriate for next year to make sure that we're staffed for our classrooms and our auxiliary services. So we recommend approval as presented.
Board, you've heard from the administration. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Ferris, I move that the board approve the additional full-time equivalents as presented.
Thank you, Ms. Bateman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Dr. Amudia? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any hear none. Then item number 12, considering possible approval of vehicle purchases. Mr. Chase?
And this is, kind of goes hand in hand with the personnel request. In past years, as you know, we've requested to purchase vehicles early in the spring that would be funded out of next budget cycle. And many of the reasons, or most of the reasons for this is if we don't order them now or close in the next month or so, we probably won't get them before school starts. In a lot of cases, there's some lead times, especially with the school buses. And so tonight we have 23 vehicles here for the transportation department, maintenance department. We have an ag pickup and some police vehicles that we need. The total cost of those vehicles is $2,406,280. These are all covered under purchasing cooperatives, so it doesn't require us to do a formal bid, but it does require board approval since it's over the 100,000 threshold that you guys have established. And so, again, these will be funded out of next year's budget. We won't take delivery on them before July 1, and so the budget that we bring to you will have appropriation there for these should you approve those. And so our recommendation is that you approve the vehicles as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Chase. Dr. Terry, any further comments?
I think Chief just received the vehicles that we ordered over a year ago, so we appreciate you guys helping us to get ahead of some of this ordering. Vehicles are still on a pretty big delay, so we recommend approval as presented.
Board, do I have a motion?
Mr. Ferris, I make a motion that the board approve the vehicle purchases as presented.
Thank you, Dr. Amudia. May I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Dobbs, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And I hear none. Moving on to item 13, consideration and possible approval of an order calling a school board election for positions 5, 6, and 7 for May 3rd, 2025. Dr. Terry, I'll turn this over to you.
It is that time of year, and wanted to go ahead and recommend that we go ahead and call for an election for positions 5, 6, and 7 this evening, and ask for your approval to make that call.
Thank you, Dr. Terry. Do I have a motion from the board?
President Ferris, I make a motion that the board approve the order calling for school board election for positions 5, 6, and 7 for May 3rd, 2025.
I have a motion from Mr. Regan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Burkhalter, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I hear none. Moving on to item 14, consideration possible approval of a contract with the Kaufman County for election services for May 3rd election. Dr. Terry?
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. Again, for our election services, we've had a great relationship with Kaufman County and would like to continue that relationship for this election on May 3rd and recommend approval of the contract as presented.
Do I hear a motion from the board?
Mr. Ferris, I move that the board approve the contract with Kaufman County for the election services for May 3rd, 2025, school board election for places 5, 6, and 7.
Thank you, Ms. Bateman. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Mr. Johnson, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
There's a second? Excuse me, is there any, we'll just call it passed. How about that? Moving on to item 15, consideration and possible approval of the use of an electronic voting system only for booth early voting and May 3rd election day voting. Dr. Terry.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. We would continue to recommend an electronic voting system that Kaufman County does utilize. So we would recommend approving that electronic voting system as presented.
Board, you've heard the motion. May I have a motion, please?
President Ferris, I make a motion that the board approve the use of an electronic voting system only for both early voting and May 3rd, 2025 election day voting.
Thank you, Mr. Regan. May I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Bateman, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I hear none. Moving on to item 16, closed session. At this time, we'll go into closed session under Texas Government Code 551071, 551072, 551074, 551076, 551089, and 551129. No voting. Voting will take place in the closed session. Any action the board wishes to take will result in discussions when we come back into open session afterwards. It is now 8:02, and we're dismissed into closed session.
Sorry. Oh, they're prep. Okay. I'll go turn it on. Can I? I mean, you know.
Thank you all for your patience. It's now 9:25, and we'll call this meeting back into regular open session. Item 17, consideration and possible approval regarding the employment of professional contract personnel. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Ferris, I make a motion that the board approve the employment of professional contract personnel as discussed in closed session.
I have a motion, Ms. Bateman. May I have a second?
Second.
Dr. Adamudia. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I hear none. Item 18, consideration and possible approval of contract renewal administrators and other professional contract personnel. Do I have a motion from the board?
President Ferris, I make a motion that the board approve the contract renewal of administrators and other professional contract personnel.
Have a motion from Ms. Burkhalter. Do I have a second?
Second.
Was it Regan down there?
Michael or Bateman?
Okay. Ms. Bateman. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? And I hear none. Item 19, consideration and possible approval of resolution regarding a road development agreement and associated easements in the Juan Lopez Survey, abstract number 286, Kaufman County, as discussed in closed session. May I have a motion?
Ferris, I move that we approve the resolution as presented in closed session.
Had a motion from Mr. Johnson. May I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Dobbs, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I hear none. Consideration and possible approval of construction bids. May I have a motion from the board?
Mr. Ferris, I make a motion that the board approve the construction bids as presented.
Thank you, Ms. Bateman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Dr. Adamudia. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I hear none. Item number 21, consider and take possible action on a level 3 grievance appeal as discussed in closed session. Having heard the appeal, is there any more discussion from the board? Does any board member wish to make a motion?
Mr. Ferris, I move the board deny the appeal and uphold the decision made at level 2.
Have a motion from Mr. Johnson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Regan, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I hear none. Dr. Terry, number 22 are announcements. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. Just to get a few holidays coming up, obviously Valentine's Day, you get to spend with your loved ones because they will be at home with you if you have children. That is a bad weather makeup day, and then we also are off for President's Day on that Monday. We do have our regular scheduled March meeting, and then we've got a little bit later spring break just to take note of this year since it's back to the 10th through the 14th. That's all the announcements at this time.